everybody, it's Wallguy, and I'm on Sarajevo Stadium playing Sector Control using the F-88 and God knows what attachments. Blah-de-blah, rambly ram. Today we're just going to get right into things. Subscribe, blah-de-blah, follow us on Twitter, whatever. Here we go. We've been saying for a while that Warfighter will be the centerpiece of our channel, and you know that's become a reality. It is the game that we show the most right now, and that's expected since it just came out. But that may no longer be the case going forward. Now, we're not stopping posting Warfighter gameplay. We still enjoy the game quite a bit. It is a very good game when it's good. However, it's the worst game of all time when it's not good. It's so frustrating when the bugs overwhelm the fun of the game. There's just so many issues with the game. So, it's very hard to get addicted to the game, and that's what I need to do. I need to get pulled in, get invested in the game to enjoy it. That way I'll play it more and continue to have fun with it. Right now, I'll have like a great sequence of games where like, wow, that was just incredibly fun. It's just amazing experience. And then it'll just turn on its head out of nowhere and give you the most frustrating experience you can imagine. That's basically Warfighter in a nutshell. That's where it is right now with all the bugs. It's hard to keep playing it sometimes. So with that situation in place, it's hard for it to be a centerpiece of a channel. So right now, it's going to get as much play on our channel basically as it earns. If we're not enjoying it, we're not going to play it, and we won't have footage, and so we can't put footage up. Now, of course, this was always the case. It kind of goes without saying that if you're not enjoying a game, you're not going to put it up on your YouTube channel. But there are a lot more reasons just beyond that why a lot of your favorite Medal of Honor commentators are getting a little bit pessimistic. You might have been noticing a lot of back and forth on Twitter. We're all very annoyed right now. And it all comes down to EA's mismanagement of the game and the series that we love. Let's talk about that more specifically. I mean, first of all, they released a game with all those bugs on launch day. We're playing basically what amounts to the beta of the game right now. And for people who have paid full price for a game at launch, that's a slap in the face. That shows you that EA doesn't respect you, that they'll hand you a turd, a flaming turd in a brown paper bag, and say, yep, you'll lap that up because it's your favorite series or whatever. Well, they underestimate us, and it's gonna slap them in the face pretty soon. It was terrible mismanagement on EA's part to release a game in this state. Obviously, it led to some bad reviews, although in these reviews you don't see them complaining about the bugs so much as making up bad reasons why the game doesn't push the genre forward and whatever. But that's a whole nother rant right there. The problem is, they pushed out a buggy game. That's not going to do well. That's going to be bad word of mouth from the gamers. And most people won't be as patient as we are. We want the game to succeed. We know there's a lot of potential there. So we'll play it a little bit longer than the general public, but the general public will pick up this game and go, what the hell is this crap? And they'll put it down forever. And before you know it, the numbers will shrink down to 2010 levels and maybe below. I mean, 2010 had over 5 million people buy the game initially, and you know there was a good number of people for a while. But this game might have trouble even doing those nice numbers because it's just cut so short with these terrible reviews and the extreme bugginess. I mean, let's not sugarcoat a turd here either. Medal of Honor 2010 had its share of bugs, but it was the most clean, fully completed game of all time compared to the status that Warfighter was released in. So that should frickin' tell you something. Now we get a press release from EA as if to, you know, say they're there, don't worry, we got your back, that they will be supporting the game through the holidays, as if that's some kind of wondrous thing. I mean, obviously you guys know, you're smart people, right? That supporting the game through the holidays means that they're going to stop supporting the game when the holidays are over. And what does this holiday support entail anyway? Is it just a Zero Dark 30 map pack? They don't say a damn thing about patch. If you talk to EA in any sense right now, they're not reassuring you with press releases saying like, we're working on the issues, we're aware of them, a patch will be forthcoming. No, they almost act as if there are no issues at all. From what I've seen with interactions with EA, you tell them about a problem with the game and, you know, they act surprised, like, really, you're having issues? Well, that's interesting. Well, why don't you explain them to us and tell us about your experience. Like, shut the fuck up, shut the fuck up. We are not that stupid. Business logic dictates that if they were to release a patch, they would want to get it out before Black Friday and that huge shopping rush to get some positive word of mouth and maximize sales for the holidays. Even if they plan on dumping the game before the end of the year, that's what they would do. They would want to get that out so they can maximize their sales for the holiday. If we don't see a patch by then, you know what, guys? I don't expect to see one at all. I think they're just going to drop the game completely, and the game you're playing now will be the game that it always will be, and that's really sad. And on top of all that, now we're hearing they relieved the project lead of his duties only months before the frickin' release, and of course kept it under wraps not to hurt initial sales or whatever. Now, I have some experience in game development, and I can tell you it's really a bad thing when you're shuffling major staff just months prior to release. Greg Goodrich was clearly the strongest voice for Medal of Honor Warfighter. He was the guy who really had the vision and was probably the lifeblood of the game development, and then they take him away and shift courses from where they were to God knows what. They made some pretty silly decisions. They buddied up with the Zero Dark 30 movie, which looks like a cross-promotional money grab just to try to get in on some of that. And they also have been running from controversy. For whatever reason, the Medal of Honor games always get a lot of flack from various whiny groups saying that they don't respect, whatever group, and the game needs to be taken off the shelves or changed in some dramatic fashion, and they're shying away from that because they don't believe in the integrity of their game's message. Greg Goodrich always defended that valiantly, and that's the same attitude that EA should have had for the project. EA, if you're going to make games with big boy messages, you need to put on your big boy pants and be a big fucking boy. Make sure you're not blaming Danger Close for this. They worked their ass off for this game. They're the development studio. And what that means is that they and their staff work on the game tirelessly based on a certain budget that's allotted them by their publisher, Electronic Arts. Now, that means that they can work as hard as they want to, but they can't hire more staff than EA allows them money to pay for. So what generally happens in game development is as the project's release date grows near, they're often a little bit behind, or they're really crunching to try to keep up pace with their release schedule. And it's very common to swell the staff to much higher numbers as you approach the final months of development. And when this happens, of course, EA's got to pony up for the development costs. And that's just what you got to do sometimes to make sure that a AAA title becomes a AAA title as you planned. So we were all wanting a summer beta early in the summer. We were calling for it, and it didn't come, and it was a little bit mind-boggling. Well, part of that is just EA wasn't willing to pony up for the necessary resources to make it happen. So instead of getting that all corrected and fixed back then, we're playing the beta now. We didn't get the extra development staff to make sure the game was polished, and this is just what we get, and EA doesn't give a crap. As far as what this means for our channel, if Warfighter's numbers start to shrink to tiny levels and the game becomes this niche thing like 2010, and for me Lockdown before it, I'm just not willing to go there again. Meowth and I are tired of playing the game that nobody cares about and is not supported. We'll play Warfighter as long as it's fun, but in its current state, I don't see that lasting past the holidays. How do you like that, EA? But we're looking for something new. So if you guys have some games you'd think that we might like or you'd like to see, let us know. And we plan on posting multiple different games to this channel, but we'd like at least one game that we're more invested in than the others, kind of be the centerpiece of the channel. I think it's a lot more fun that way, so let us know what you think.